Welcome back.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that's
Pretty formal.
That's Arian mocking my countdown that we do at the start of each episode. Yeah, sorry, I put on my big boy voice. So welcome back to Nanodosing. And we were just talking before we started that we're thinking we're going to just release shorter and shorter episodes. So eventually there will be a mini dosing. And then what's below micro, Billy? Pico?
It goes micro, nano, pico, femto.
Pico and femto. Femto dosing is going to be Billy reading one word that we don't think he could pronounce correctly, and then him screwing it up, and then everybody roasting him for it. That's efficiency.
No, just the word being mispronounced.
Yes. So Billy had a little snafu yesterday on part of my take. Arian, I don't know if you've seen the clip that's going around. Coley, I assume you might have. Not yet. So
let's ask him to pronounce the name.
I got part of my take blocked on all social media.
Smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
Fucking memes is an assassin. You don't want to hear any of his propaganda. So the golfer, colloquially known as the gold.
Don't say him.
I'm not.
We're
Billy,
not saying his name.
let me handle this.
Okay.
You'll poison the well. All right. The golfer with the all-time most major championships. He's colloquially. I'm fucking up that word now. Colloquially, it's because I'm having trouble saying it, not because I don't know how to say it. Colloquially known as the Golden Bear. What's that individual's name?
Jack Nicklaus?
Yes.
That would be correct.
Coley, how would you pronounce it?
I'd say Jack Nicklaus, yeah.
Yeah, so Billy, how did you pronounce it yesterday on Part of My Take?
In the original German of how the name is pronounced and spelt, Nicklaus.
Yeah, Jack Nicklaus. And then he emptied the clip on his excuses afterwards. Like he went straight to like that's how he should be pronouncing it. He went to his ancestors fucked up by anglicizing
the pronunciation but not the
of
spelling, like assholes.
Yeah,
but you dead named them.
Yes, he dead named him. Then Billy went to when I watch golf with my family, I always watch it on mute, which is a strange rule to say the least. To have.
That's a bad.
Golf's so noisy.
And then he went to I spent a long time in a sauna earlier today, so I'm not able to pronounce my words correctly. So was there anything else?
We went to the Russian baths.
We did. Okay, but I think
keep it a buck. The only reason why I know is because it's the dude that Tiger was always chasing. That's the only reason why I know.
That's what we said. It's like his name has been in the news a lot in the last 20 years because like that's the guy, that's the one that Tiger has to surpass. All right, I think Avery's got it pulled up. Avery, can you play it?
Yep. And my cool throne is Jack Nicklaus, who rejected
Jack Nicklaus. So you know what? I'm gonna try to move past this because as we've established, if you mispronounce a word phonetically, it just means that you learned that word by reading it, not by hearing other people say it. So Billy is a voracious reader. That's what you should go with. Be like, sorry, I read so much that's how I learn words.
Yeah.
Of his mispronunciations, I would argue that's not even a bad one. Like phonetically, that is what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, if you
hadn't heard people say it,
if you don't listen to Billy on Macrodosing, where he really opens up a lot and gets to speak for extended periods of time, you wouldn't know that he would say something like Pulitzer or
Pulitzer
or nuclear, which I've just stopped correcting entirely. I'm just like, if Billy wants to say nuclear at this point, like let him go.
Bush
We've had presidents who don't know that one.
Yeah, Bush said that for many years.
NORAD.
I think it's better when you don't correct him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in the future,
it's my accent.
I'm just Billy's. That was the president of the Washington Redskins at the time, Bruce Allen. That was his excuse for calling Kirk Cousins. He called his own starting quarterback Kurt Cousins, and they asked him what it was. He's like, "That's just my McLean accent." Listen, my grandfather is from McLean, Virginia. I know McLean, Virginia like the back of my hand. That's basically where my family is from. And he's right. Everyone says Kurt Cousins. We pronounce our K's as T's up there.
He'd be a better quarterback if his name was Kirk Cousins. That's a fact.
Agreed. Kirk Cousins is nowhere near the quarterback that Kurt is. But tell you what, let's jump into Billy's Guy of the Week, because I think he's in the waiting room right now. Is it a he or a she for the Guy of the Week?
It is a he.
It's a he. So, Bill, you want to...
I think Billy's done with the opposite sex.
Yeah, Billy is scared to talk to girls. We've established
When did this start?
It started when
Confirm.
It started when you were doing that video of you and Casey, and I came up behind you to rip your pants down, and then you wouldn't even look her in the eye as you were acting in the video.
Oh, and he's an incel, according to him.
Well, just like remember, we got like there's tons of office drama with the opposite sex, so I'm just behaving.
You are behaving. Billy's just behaving.
Yes.
All right, Billy, you want to introduce your guy of the week?
So our guy of the week, he's also the yacht guy of our list. How you doing? He kindly set up a little yacht meet and greet for all the Billy's List guys. I think there was a little docking issue of where they were going. But we now have on our first. Wait. I'll have him explain what exactly happened.
It's hard to know at night where I'm gonna dock because it all depends on like the time, the weather, the wave. So like, I could shoot for like an hour north of where I want to be, But yeah, I spent the night in Atlantic City, and then I spent the night on like Connecticut, and there wasn't anyone close enough. But the yacht's in Boston, so I take it back down to Miami in October. So hopefully we can get some Bostonians on the yacht. It'd be sweet.
It's just I find it fascinating right off the bat. And welcome to the show. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for being a member of Billy's List.
I'm wearing my uniform. My sweatshir's upstairs. So
this is a cult now. Yeah, you've got a uniform. It's
not a cult.
Yeah, it's a cult.
It's an exchange of ideas.
It's a good cult. But now the pieces are starting to come together a little bit because like Billy getting to select a guy of the week to bring them on the show, and then the first thing he introduces you as is the guy that has the yacht. Billy's just trying to butter up the guy with the yacht so that he can continue to do more yacht things.
Yes.
Yeah. Am I far off, Billy?
No. I mean, we wanted to have a Mason on to talk about his experience with the organization, and he happened to have a yacht.
Okay.
Now, you mentioned in our text there were multiple Masons to pick from, so I don't know that your excuse just there flies. You only picked the Mason with the yacht.
Did the other Masons have yachts?
The other Masons didn't respond.
Because you didn't reach out to them.
I did. I had a text.
You're yacht Mason. But thank you for joining us. We talked a bit about Masons and Freemasons on the last episode of Macrodosing, but we quickly realized that we don't really know anything about them. So I'm glad that you could join us. Billy, what was the first thing that you wanted to get into with them?
Are you guys the Knights Templar?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. I think that settles the interview.
I can go a lot deeper into that because there's a lot of stuff with that.
Oh, that's awesome. So if you could delve, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Can you just take us through the history of the Masons?
So, all right. So Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, right? Mary Magdalene, the chick with the red hair. When Jesus died, the Holy Grail is a large chest full of all the firsthand accounts from Jesus's followers and his disciples. Mary Magdalene had that chest. The Knights of Templar, their mission was to protect Mary Magdalene and that chest.
Are you going to get murdered for telling us this?
Could have worn a bandana, but whatever.
We'll delete your face.
I don't care.
It'd be like those episodes of Gangland where you're just like strictly.
I'm not going into secret stuff yet. Like you can find this in books.
Okay.
This is like semi-common knowledge, yeah.
Okay.
But like the Knights of Templar were there to protect. Like the Holy Grail isn't a grail. It's just a chest full of papers that explain that Jesus is real.
And Mary Magdalene, some people say that was Jesus' girlfriend. Some people say it was a prostitute that he just befriended and hung out with platonically, but am I far off?
No, okay. So they were lovers. I don't know if it was Julius. One of the dictators around the time hated the religion, hated Judaism. So himself as the dictator threw out all this slander, all this propaganda to tell the people that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. So when Jesus died, the disciples wouldn't follow Mary Magdalene, the Knights of Templar.
Huh.
So like the dictator slandered Mary, kind of.
Okay.
That's why we think of her as. But to this day, a lot of people think that Mary Magdalene had a kid with Jesus, and that was like the final piece of the puzzle, like he's half God. Now he made something on earth. He's an actual half human, half God, Jesus.
Crazy. So there could be like direct descendants of
There
Jesus.
are. If you look up 2 or 3 last names, they trace all their roots back to Mary Magdalene, and they live in England, and they're a very secret family. But it's all online. I don't know the last names, but it's online.
Sollenberger.
This sounds a lot like the plot to the Da Vinci Code. Is there some truth to that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
100%.
Are you just like regurgitating the plot of the Da Vinci Code? Are you just a guy that's seen the Da Vinci Code?
I haven't seen the movie, but it's not the plot. It's kind of semi-true, but it morphs from there.
Okay. So where do the Masons come from all this?
So I guess my background with Freemasonry, my family is originally from England. I have an ancestor with my last name who was on the Mayflower. So I have 28 male generations in the U.S. My old ancestors in England were part of the United Grand Lodge of England, which was the first Freemason lodge established in 1717, I want to say, around then. So the Knights of Templar like founded the Grand Lodge of England as well. So there's a lot of like distinction between types of Grand Lodges and types of Freemasonry. There's like continental, which is basically like really not real Freemasonry, like fake Freemasonry. The main things in order to be like an established Freemason, you can have a Blue Lodge, you can have a Craft Lodge, a Grand Lodge, a regular lodge. The 5 main things are no girls, only male, no politics, no religion. You have to believe in a higher power. You have to believe in a supreme being. You don't have to believe in one God. Some lodges might force their God to you, but it's usually across the board. You have to believe in a God. You have to take your vows on the Holy Book, on the Scripture, and how the lodges work. There's 3 stages, kind of like a degree. You start out as an entered apprentice, then you move up to a journeyman, and then a master mason, and the lodge has 100% control over all of that.
So how does that work? You said no religion, but then you have to take your oath on the Holy Scripture. That seems like it's getting close to religion.
It's kind of like you just don't talk about religion. Like you don't talk about it out loud, but you know, like the Freemasons were established on religion to kind of protect religion, but it's not like a number one, we're a religious group.
Huh.
Okay.
I understand. Like the idea is that because in the end, a lot of religions stem from the same idea of monotheism. Here's another one. Monotheism.
Yep.
So that, it's just sort of a unification of all those. So do you have to swear on whatever book you deem, like whatever your book is, you have to swear on?
Yeah, you have to swear on the scripture of that lodge, and there's different landmarks and ashlars, which are basically like just curved stone, but each lodge has their own like landmark, like a piece of Freemasonry from the old times, like in a church, like an old book. So it's like
So what do the Freemasons do now? What do you guys control?
We don't influence like people who aren't really in it. But it's just a group to support each other. Like there's people help pay for stuff. Like there's funds for colleges, there's job searches. Like it's just like kind of like a normal group that gets together that, you know, just talks. And I can go over what like a normal meeting would look like. It's just like it's not that crazy, but
sounds like a fraternity.
Yeah, it's like an adult fraternity.
Yeah.
You guys drink beer?
Yeah. And wine, actually.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Off the
Red
sheet,
wine.
baby,
Hey,
blood.
what's the chalice situation look like? Is it goblets or chalices you're drinking out of?
Goblets. Like the ones from Harry Potter? Goblets.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty
like
cool.
that.
Do you have good wine out of the goblets, or do you ever put like Franzia
It's always like this thick red wine. So how it works is like there's a master Freemason every year, and he nominates the next one for next year. So right now my master is just this old guy. It's just an alcoholic. So a lot every meeting.
If I wanted to be a Freemason, am I allowed? Like,
you could walk right in.
So it's open to anyone, not women.
Like, no women.
Okay.
What's the story behind that? Why are we still misogynistic in 2020?
Are they checking like?
There's the continental lodges. Those don't follow any rules. Those have women. Those talk about whatever. So that's why I say that's not real Freemasonry. Because like it's not really real. But I support women. I'm sorry, Mad Dog, but
that's okay.
But yeah, continental Freemasonry is something that's been like adapted to the US. But right now there's over 6.5 million current Freemasons throughout the world.
Huh. That's a lot. And it's open to anyone off the street. If you found a lodge, you just walk in and you're like, I'd like to join your club, and they just accept you.
And there's like nights, there's like social nights where you can bring like your friends and they can meet and try to like, you have to like ask them like a formal inquiry. They give you a formal application. It's kind of like a frat, and then you just get voted, but you can get blackballed. If you get one person voting against you, then you cannot be in it.
Oh, it has to be unanimous.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. But for different, I think the lodge in Scotland, it's 3. So it changes, but yeah, they're like, if one person doesn't like you, no.
And what's the like uniform that you wear? Are we talking robes? I guess I want to know kind of like Coley more about some of the ceremonial stuff. Like, are there?
You want to know about the stone cutters? Like
yes. Are there robes involved? Is there a scroll?
Are you guys still wearing like the skirt type things?
The elders are.
Huh.
So like that's their like piece of respect. But I'll try to answer everything that I can.
I mean, I've got one burning question, and like, what did you guys do to the Denver airport?
So funny.
Yeah, well, what's like? Are you guys just putting your plaques on places, or like?
It's also hilarious because I work at a tech company, and my tech company was like the ones who built the airport too.
Okay. So it's a deep web.
So I mean, you probably can reveal more about your tech company's involvement than the Masons' involvement, but we'd love to hear it all.
We can jump around. So I don't ever fly out of Denver. I go into Boulder. I have friends that go to Denver University. I was with one last night. We don't go to that airport. People in Denver don't go there.
Interesting.
Good tip.
Yeah.
Why?
You know the feeling when you're in like an old haunted house and you walk in and you're like skin crawls and you're like, who's watching me?
Not really, but
because like I remember you guys had an episode last year about it. There is effigies and pyramids and symbols all over the airport, like the eyeballs, the paintings. Yeah, there's definitely something going on there, but I don't have the full details.
Is there a scroll? Do you guys have a scroll in your chapters?
Yeah. Our scroll in I haven't been to the lodge in England for like 8 months, but I'm going in a month. But our scroll there is like from the early 1700s.
So hold on. Do y'all believe in like spirits and demons and ghouls and goblins and all that shit?
Yeah.
Oh,
have to.
Okay. You have to? I mean, do y'all conjure them or some shit?
No, we send them away.
They're the ones protecting us. That's the whole point.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, thank you would be nice.
Yeah. We should give some thanks. So you can practice atheism because they're out there on the front lines.
There are wolves.
It's very easy to practice atheism. You just do
because the guys like the Masons protecting you from the evil spirits. They're like the Ghostbusters.
They're wolves, sheepdogs.
You guys are Ghostbusters.
They're the sheepdogs.
WT
We're the sheep. The demons are the wolves.
Yeah.
How many presidents have been Freemasons?
Oh,
all of them, right? All of them.
almost all, like over 15, over 20, easy. Yeah.
Is Trump a Freemason?
I think all of them.
No.
Oh yeah.
I think Obama low-key might be.
I think he
I
is.
think the last huge one I know, Ronald Reagan was a huge Freemason.
But you don't think that all Masons aren't real Masons? You say because like there's
because you can be part of the other continental and not believe in those. Yeah.
It's
so like what kind of beef is there? Like do y'all got like conjure offs?
Yeah. So it's called when you're in amity, and that's where you can move freely from lodge to lodge, like a lodge or recognize this other lodge of being like a real lodge. If you're not in amity, like you don't go there, you don't talk to them because they don't believe in the same things.
Huh.
It's like, so the gym that I have a membership of is a one location gym. So I can go to my location, even though it's part of a chain, but I can't go to the one that's like closer to my office.
They got different blocks. They got different flags.
Yeah.
They're a gang.
Yeah. They flash different sets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like the, you guys look down your nose at the continental groups. It's like a real breakfast versus a continental breakfast.
Exactly.
They have bagels, like stale
like a full
bagels.
English.
You have
is there
sausage? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're allowed to divulge, like about your little secret code talk? Like, so when I meet somebody,
Hmm.
because I know there's handshakes. I know there's
Yeah.
like I've heard of like shit like I'm a traveling man. I don't know if that's the real Masons or not, but I've heard of small things here and there.
On that same idea,
You didn't let him finish. Fucking Billy.
well, I'm trying to. I don't want to get him in trouble.
Billy's
Billy was like, that was a good question. How about this?
That's a grown man. If he wanted to say no,
Yeah,
if
but
you
I
want
don't
to say
get
no,
him
I
in
ain't gonna
trouble.
have
He
my
was
fun.
kind enough to come on.
He's gonna get himself in trouble. It's not gonna be us.
If you recognize a Freemason, like in you, like, all right, this guy's a Freemason, don't put your hand out. The best thing to do is just stand right in front of him, stare at him respectfully, and let him look at you. Just give.
Is he a fucking Grim Reaper, bro?
I'm too tall to be doing that to strangers.
like this is a good way to either to either meet a new Freemason friend or get like savagely beaten to death, or just have a dude randomly make out with you. Like you stand in front of another man, looking him in the eye respectfully enough for a long enough time, two of you are gonna kiss.
Are there gay people? Are you allowed to be a gay Mason?
Fuck. I don't. If there are, they hide it. Because I haven't seen it. But in Continental, probably. But I would just say. Don't
bang on them.
Stand.
Bang on them fake ass Masons. What kind of rituals are you allowed to divulge?
I can divulge one. I can divulge one. So
Let's do it.
How the degrees work, how you get taught, it's a little bit like school. So there's something called a morality play. So it's like you learn about events in past history, like in your class, basically. And so the first ever Masonic temple was the first ever temple in Israel, the first ever temple in Jerusalem. You might have heard of it. It's called the Temple of Solomon. It was built in 1957 BCE by this name, Hiram Abiff, A-B-I-F-F. He's thought to be one of the first Masons, but that temple stood for 4 centuries until it was destroyed in like 587, 588 by the Babylonians, I want to say. But like that's the type of thing we learn about. So we'll like have an actual object, like a little replica of the old temple, and like learn about it and do stuff in person like that too.
The morality play. That sounds like like an after school special.
Ain't there? I don't know if you're allowed to say this, but I call there's this book a long time ago. that I didn't read all the way, but it's called by Manly P. Hall, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. Is that ring a bell?
Manly P. Hall?
Mm-hmm.
No.
He talks about how it was like 33 degrees, some shit like that. Is that accurate?
There's a lot of weird laws in Freemasons. Like there's the law of being level and plumb. Everything's got to be like 90 degrees or exact.
Like well constructed. Everything's got to be neat.
Yeah.
Huh. Now,
and like if you see like the ASHLARS all showers, those are like the smooth stone curved stuff you see all over Mason temples. And like they care a lot about that because it's like whenever you go and try to build a new temple, in order to establish a new temple, it's got to be voted on by one Grand Lodge or 3 regular lodges. And from there, it's a big fight because everyone wants to like build the lodge. Everyone wants to put their mark on it. So you have to be voted upon who's going to build a new lodge. So it's there's a whole side of construction. Like there's a lot of guys who just work like construction that are Freemasons. Like that are just regular carpenters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, quick question about a little more personal about your family history. Do you believe that your ancestors who came to the United States may have been persecuted for being Freemasons and that's why they fled?
I don't know if that's the whole reason, but I think they were being persecuted for multiple things. Yeah.
So maybe there's an element of a lot of Freemasons came to America because
like most Freemasons are from the old Anglo-Saxon church, which is now the religion Episcopalian, and I am Episcopalian. So a lot of people from the Episcopalian church were Freemasons. Went hand in hand.
Do you have anything that you're preparing for? So like, I know that, you know, the Holy Grail is a big part of why you guys were created and what the lineage is. Are there any like training seminars you go to? Like just in case somebody finds the Holy Grail, here's the protocol for how we as Freemasons are designated to protect it.
Yes. It's definitely a lot of like, if people find this shit out, what do we do? Like if people find the old texts, find the old scriptures, because it's not even the Holy Grail. If you were to go in the basement levels of like these old grand lodges in England and stuff, you could destroy the internet with the stuff you'll find.
All right. So what happens if hypothetically in the ruins underneath the Notre Dame Cathedral where they found that old mummy that they're going to open up in the lead sarcophagus, what if they crack that shit open? It's Jesus and he's got like all his jewelry, all his chains and stuff buried down there with him. What happens? What's the protocol?
We talked about that a month after the church burned down. So yeah, that's the protocol. Is we get Freemasons in the area and they go to the area like right away and just get everything. Or if they can't, if there's people around, they burn everything down. But rather destroy it than have people see it.
Whoa. What's the point of hoarding all of this information that could possibly shift the culture?
Is it like
hour, isn't it?
It'll expose a lot of things and get people in trouble, I guess, to put it plainly. But I don't know. It's also the point of like, we don't, if this comes all true, you know how there's always people that like go against it, like prove it. Like we don't want the onus to be on us. Like this has been over 2,000 years of whatever, our group trying to protect this. If you don't care about it, we don't care. We just want to protect what we know.
So,
you know?
Worst case scenario, what happens if they crack open the sarcophagus and it's a bunch of historians around and scientists and stuff, and they publish all the information? What are you guys afraid of having out there?
Like locations of different things and like actual things that we have. Like, oh, in this paper it talks about this really old gold chest or these papers. Oh, they're probably here in this Grand Lodge or this Grand Lodge. So we're worried about like people trying to steal stuff. Like we just don't want to lose what we have from the past.
Whoa.
because people like the museums in London will come in and be like, hey,
well, because
that
and
sword, that's ours now.
Yeah, and if you're like a treasure hunter, you can just like sell that.
So you believe there is actually buried treasure, is what you're telling me?
Oh yeah, there's in every lodge there's some piece of old. Like in order to have a lodge, you need to have your landmarks, which are like old original Masonic scriptures or objects or rites or yeah.
So in light of such truth, what kind of security measures do y'all take to make sure your secret stuff don't get snatched?
I love this. So there's a position called a Tyler, and I used to be a Tyler my first couple meetings. But basically, the Tylers just are outside on the curb, and they stand outside on the door for the whole meeting, like while the meeting is going on, and at one Tyler at least at every entrance. But around the clock, if no one's there, like, yeah, we have like the most updated security cameras. Like we'll hire private armed security and shit like that. Like over in England where stuff is super like Masonic, there's like armed guards there like 24 hours.
This is a gang, like quite literally, what you're just like,
Yeah.
the dude standing out on the street
Yeah.
as the lookout, making sure nothing weird is going on.
Yeah.
It's just a very successful gang. The oldest gang in the world.
How many people are currently looking for the Holy Grail?
I'm gonna be looking for it now.
I mean, fuck.
No one.
'Cause I ain't
Like,
got
how
shit
many
to do.
active people? Like,
Because they have it.
Where
yeah,
that
that's
shit at,
also an
yo?
option. That would be the greatest thing. Be like, oh, we don't know where it is. We're looking for
Yeah,
it.
you got.
Tell me where that shit is, yo.
I see the spark in
on.
Arian's eye right now. Like you gave
Hold
him
on.
you gave him a purpose for the next year here.
I'm retired, dog. I'm trying to go look for this shit. I'm gonna have to fight a bunch of. I'm gonna fight a bunch of Tylers.
Yeah. Tylers. I mean, there's definitely
What was your white dude's name, Tyler?
Once you advance past the towers, watch out. The Codys are next.
Final boss battle. Kyle.
Zach. It's just one guy named Zach at the end. He found me.
But Zach Morris. He has a block cell phone.
Well,
You got anything else, Billy?
no, I was just gonna say earlier. Do you know that like all these frats with like a secret handshake, they're all this exact same handshake.
yeah.
Like so many of these frats, like who are, I'll give you the handshake right now.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen
Like
that,
so many different frats. Like, oh, we got a secret handshake. It's the fucking exact
It's
same.
it's the pinky scissor.
My
Yeah.
sorority had a secret handshake and it wasn't that.
What was it?
I'm not telling you.
See, she's
Ooh.
good.
Right.
She's good. Billy.
Aren't all like fraternities somehow related to Masons? Like somehow, like isn't it like little dominions?
Kind of. Like the
The
Freemasons.
white ones, anyway.
The Freemasons definitely like built like the physical buildings of a lot of the old frat buildings and a lot of the old Ivy League colleges and everything. Those are all built by Masons. Yeah.
Because what I heard was like there's a partial like part of being a Mason is like one of the, I don't know if it's a degree or whatever. Like part of it is like y'all get to. It's like one of them's like nepotism. Like so, if somebody has like wants a job or needs a job, like because he was a part of the fraternity or the Mason lodge or whatever, you give him a handshake, y'all talk, and he gets the job. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
I think fraternities, if you look from the outside, would probably be a whole lot more sinister than we are because like we've been around and we kind of know what they're about. But if you were just, if you were dropped off as an alien on the other side of the earth and you're like, oh, it's an ancient Greek society that networks together at institutes of higher learning, and then they help each other advance through the world. It sounds a lot more nefarious than it is, which is like, hey, these guys want to get hammered. And so this is an
Yeah,
easy
it's-
way for them to have friends.
Like, well, if we're in a meeting, we were watching like one of the playoff games last week. Like, we'll just throw it up on mute. Like, yeah, it's really like a frat in a way.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, man. Appreciate it. And just out of curiosity, who is the golfer that has the most major championships?
Oh, dude. Tiger?
No, there's a guy above him.
Old white guy.
Old white guy.
Arnold Palmer?
No, another old
The other
white guy.
That's eliminate, bro.
Oh, fuck.
The Golden Bear.
Jack.
Nicholson.
Jack.
That's the answer. Jack Nicklaus.
Jack
Okay.
Nicklaus. Yeah, that's close enough. That's close enough.
Third time's the charm.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, man.
Yeah.
That was
I just have a couple closing things. Like, I just want to say I've been a Barstool guy since like 2012, and back, I was working construction, being a tow truck driver every morning, like 2016, listen to PMT. Like, I really appreciate you, man. You're a good guy. And Coley, I was at a bar last night. Celtics lost. It's tough,
Yeah,
but whatever.
Wasn't my favorite game of the playoffs. So
I actually walked in the bathroom. This dude I didn't know. He's like, "Dude, is that a Billy's List shirt?" And his first question, I kid you not, was, "Dude, that's Billy's List. Mad Dog is so hot." And I was like, "What? That's the first thing you're gonna say?" I'm not even kidding. Like, I have a Snapchat if you want him.
the president of the Mad Dog fan club. I love it.
Billy's List.
Yeah, there
gets
should be-
Mad Dog.
Yeah.
No, it should
stop.
be Billy's List and Maddie's Simps.
That's fire. Actually, I like that. I like that.
All right,
Oh,
word.
that made me sweat a little bit.
Okay, that was Billy's guy. That was a guy from Billy's List. He's a Mason. So, Big T, what are your thoughts on it? Because I saw you over there. You were judging a little bit.
I wasn't judging. I just had. He said some things that were interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like
That's the time. That's the time you post the. You post the
well, they
flat
weren't.
back.
Well, so he said he was Episcopalian. I'm not entirely familiar with the Episcopalian Church, but then he also said at the beginning, I believe that he was like, he believes that Jesus like had a child with Mary Magdalene. Those two things don't square
Well,
in my mind.
Why?
What do you mean why?
No, he said that was spread by.
Well, he
the
said
dictator.
they believe that. I think
Because then
that
you
was
can trace
said,
back Mary Magdalene.
that was
and
my
Jesus's
understanding.
Lineage.
he
Jesus.
said that's what the Knights believe, not necessarily what Episcopalians believe.
No, right. But I thought he said that's what the Masons believed. And then because PFT's like, so all that's real. And he was like, yeah. So I don't know if I don't know. That was something that.
It sounds to me like they treat religion like they truly believe that religion is a good foundation to have, but they see themselves as like knowing the real story, and they know when like various religions are actually bending the truth.
like
on
a
things.
social thing.
Yeah, like you can in theory be a member of the Episcopalian Church and like know in the back of your head, well, they're wrong about all this that they're teaching right now, but I still am going to go to this church because of the social function that it serves and the societal function that I believe improves myself by going to it.
That seems odd to me, but I suppose that is true.
Well, it's also like their whole thing seems to be like, we keep this knowledge from the masses, and then we tell the masses something else.
Because they can't handle the truth.
Yeah, Men in Black.
Look at Arian.
Can you screenshot that, Avery?
I will.
What?
I will.
It'll be on YouTube. I
Yeah,
guess.
it'll be on YouTube.
Okay, pick up in 3, 2, 1. This nigga Billy, man.
What?
So he don't get
Oh,
it.
it
He
won't
don't
be
get
on
it.
YouTube, actually.
Yeah,
I guess
part,
not.
That part won't be on YouTube. Can we just bleep out what Billy said?
Wait, I don't get it. What
Yeah.
I said was
All right, so Billy said
Bro,
Billy said something that Arian specifically said, do not include this in the podcast like 3 minutes ago.
And then he just said it again.
and then
That might get Buddy murdered.
Oh.
Billy repeated it, and then Arian just gave him the biggest death stare that I've ever seen.
I thought it wasn't that part.
I don't even think you look at your daughter when she does something when she eats cookies that she's not supposed to be eating. That's like close to that look.
No, she can do no wrong. Billy can do wrong.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I honestly
No,
thought.
you already said it, and we all heard you, but we just bleeped that
I
part.
believe you honestly thought. I believe you honestly
No, I'm
thought.
just saying. I think for the first part of the interview, for a second, I thought he was reciting the plot to the Da Vinci Code, and I was like, "Fuck!"
I did think we were getting trolled.
I did think we were getting got, but then I was like, "Oh no, this."
Can I ask a quick?
I mean,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Can I ask a quick clarifying question? I don't know much about the Freemasons. I'm not allowed to fucking be one. Which fuck off with that. But
Oh, you could be one of the fake
But
ones.
that's
Yeah, give me a
that's
fake
also
one?
so my grandmother was an Eastern Star.
I don't know what that is.
It's what they call. It's like a subset of masonry, but like there are women involved in it, but they can't get like high up. But like
The
he
Mormon
said,
Church
the main
or the
one,
Catholic Church.
yeah, the main one that they said that women aren't allowed. Like they sets and they feuding. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the Knights Templar and Freemasons?
sounds like Freemasons, they were created after the Knights Templar.
So the Freemasons are like based from the Knights
Yeah.
Templar.
That's the impression
It's
I
an
got.
acquisition that got bought out.
Or when they were being when the Knight Templar was being persecuted, they went underground and became
Freemasons.
It was a rebrand. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
a complete rebrand. It's like when Blackwater got in trouble for killing all those civilians, and they came back and they just changed their name.
So like
G.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
XI.
Or it's like it's more like when Kobe switched from Adidas to Nike.
Yeah,
Then he was Black Mamba.
I thought you were going to say jersey number.
Yeah, 8 to
Same.
24.
Same.
Yeah.
Isn't that around? Was it the same year? Or
No, he was
Adidas.
Nike. But he was only
Yeah.
Adidas for a year or two.
Yeah, he had
Oh, was
been
it?
Nike at
Okay.
that
Okay.
point.
Okay.
Crazy Eight's a good shoe.
There was the season he was a free agent. He was wearing like Iversons and shit.
Yeah, that's right. Yo, the first Kobe shoe. Was it the Crazy Eight?
Crazy Eight.
Yeah, the crazy.
That shit. Matter of fact, is StockX still
Oh yeah.
selling fake shit
I think you can get Crazy Eights. I think you can just order Crazy Eights. I don't think you need to go through StockX.
from Adidas? They be.
Just Google it.
They're $400.
Well, I got the Adidas app though. I got the Adidas
Yeah,
app.
me
It's
too.
Like, yeah, because I online shop too much. I have an issue.
We'll tell you what, we got to get running in a second here, but do we have time to do like a lightning voicemail?
Yeah.
Really quick, next week is going to be a prison guard
Ooh.
as one of the guys.
That's sick. I like that.
He says he's got a bunch of crazy stories. So
Bet.
yeah, so let's get locked in for that one.
Shit, I got a bunch of
Locked
crazy
up for
stories
that
about
one.
prison guards. That's-
Okay.
And Brian Cox on Tuesday.
Yes.
Professor Brian Cox.
Oh, they do have them.
We also
Nah, they don't have them.
No, I'm surprised. They're usually in stock.
Also,
I'm-
not on the Adidas
Okay.
app anymore.
No, I know. I'm saying historically, I see them.
Lightning
Like,
voicemail. Let's do it.
Okay. And go.
Hey, Macrodosing crew, this is Billy's Army guy checking in. Billy, from one vet to another, I just want to say thank you for your service. It means a lot from a vet myself. So, anyways, I just want to hear any of your guys' like creepiest thoughts that you've had. So I had one the other day, and it was like in our whole life, outside of our family, there's like no way to tell if someone has like physically been watching us sleep. Like, I'm 24 years old, and you mean to tell me that there's been like not like one stranger in my whole life that hasn't like watched me sleep at all? So I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on that, and if you guys have had any like creepy thoughts like that. All right, love the pod. Thanks.
I'll just start real quick. That's a very strange thought to have,
Yeah.
but
He said that leading off, to be fair.
yeah, he did. But thank you for sharing it. Like, no judgment. I used to think I was an elf when I was a kid, like when I was like 5 or 6 years old, because I had pointy ears, and I was like, "Oh, I'm an elf."
I thought that about you too.
Yeah, it's pretty common. A lot of people say my features are elven. But yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
I could see you being a woodland creature.
Thank you. Billy means that as a sign of respect. By
Oh
the
yeah,
way.
no, it means he has. It would.
You're muted.
You kind of look like that little deer joint from
Mr. Tumnus.
Is it from the
Narnia.
where they go to the clock? Yeah, Narnia. Yeah, you
Mr.
look
Tumnus.
you look like the little deer guy, bro.
Okay.
I mean, he's so neuroatypical. 100% could understand him being a different species.
Yo, we have a
How
a
can
Twitter
you say
account.
neuroatypical but not Jack Nicklaus?
because
Yo,
Nicholas.
Somebody meme PFT
Oh no.
with the little deer guy, please.
no.
I want to see that. I would like to see that.
I used to think that everyone in the world was a dragon besides me, and, and I would-
Everybody was a dragon, but you.
How does that make sense? Like, what do you think that you're the only
That
dragon?
would suck.
No,
That would
'cause I'm not a
suck
dragon.
So hard.
but I would walk into rooms and people would shapeshift in humans, and then I would.
Fucking mad dog. What a strange
Pretty fire.
individual she turned out to be.
Well, in this similar sense, I
don't
used
know.
to think that one day I'd learn how to transform into different animals.
No, I thought
still-
when I walked into rooms, like if I walked into the part of my take studio, that everyone was a dragon before I entered, and then I like laid eyes on you and you
and
shifted.
we're like, quick guys, she's coming.
Yeah, and then it's like Toy Story, and then when I leave the room, you go back to your original form.
Fuck, she
What type
figured it out.
of big,
I
big,
thought she'd never leave.
like
Yeah.
big dragons or like
like
European dragons? What
Yeah.
kind of dragons?
like your size, like small, I guess, because it's your size, but
Like a Komodo dragon.
Dragon tails type dragons?
yeah, like a dragon tails type.
Not
dragon.
wyverns,
sense.
but dragons.
No, not like the dragon from Shrek.
Wyverns, I mean.
What? Oh,
I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Is
Which-
that a Game of Thrones thing?
which
No, it's
cultural
just
dragon?
It's
like
a part of.
Quetzalcoatl? The
I'm not even gonna
Mayan
pretend to-
Aztec dragon?
Okay, respect. I do look a little bit like Mr. Tumnus. I'm looking.
I told you.
Once
man.
I looked at your
told you,
face, I was
bro.
like, man, you kind
Yeah,
of
it's,
do.
it's there. It's
Yeah,
there.
man.
It's kind of the hair helps too.
Yeah.
I never had any like I guess thoughts like when people were dragons and shit, but I used to think in my head, like I can control shit like, yo, if we make this light, this is gonna happen. Like shit like that. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna I used to think that shit all the time when I was little. If I make this shot,
Uh-huh.
then my mom's gonna get me the Nintendo game, like that type of shit.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Mine is that there's no way to ever prove that like we perceive the world in the same way. Like if I said the Brewers are wearing white and you agree that the Brewers are wearing white, but there's no way to ever know that we're seeing the same thing. Like you could
Yeah,
call
like
white
my-
red,
Yeah.
I've thought that too. Plenty of
That's
times.
that's fucking crazy.
I think
and
about
you
that
there's
all
no
the
way to ever prove
Oh,
it.
yeah. No, I thought about that.
That's no.
Yes.
The big teacher.
Like my red could be your black, and we'll just never know.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's
you know, when you look at inverted images where they reverse the colors, like some people might see like that, like that's their inverse, and what you see is their inverse. But
That-
you will never know.
That just blew my mind.
Whoa.
Whoa. All right, that does it for.
Let's go
Nanodosing.
Rangers.
Let's go Rangers, Avery.
Game
Let's
one
go.
tonight.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Big game.
I'm rooting for you, buddy.
What is
Yeah.
that, Arian?
I love the support from the chat.
Just casually doing a Rubik's Cube. While
Wait,
we're
what
talking
color?
about-
What colors are those? What
the
colors?
same as every other.
Oh, I
Well,
thought
we
I
don't
saw
know. We
red, white,
don't
and
know,
blue.
do we?
That's facts.
Oh, boom. There you go. Oh shit, my bad. There you go.
It didn't look like. Yeah, I guess it's the shapes. That
It did look like red, white, and blue for a second. I
Okay,
was about
it
to be
is.
like, yeah, but we got to go.
We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Professor Brian Cox, professor of particle physics. Great episode.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Rip the blunt.
Love you
It's
guys.
going to blow your mind.
Maddie, give a shout out to your Simps.
Shut up.